From homeless to home ownership, veterans should not have to suffer because agents don't know how to connect a homeless veteran with real estate, but it goes together. A homeless veteran with resources can rent an apartment, depending on the resource they have. It could be a HUD VASH voucher. It could be any SSVF form of resource. It could be anything. It could be a pre-approval. When I tell people veterans have resources to move, all it takes is for a realtor to know how to use those resources. That's right. And that's why I'm here to educate not just realtors, but the community. All of us can do wondrous works when it comes to helping to move our homeless veterans. Good evening. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate and Consultant. I am CEO of VetMentors, a woman-owned, veteran-owned small business, SBA certified and VA verified to do housing and resources in this veterans community. I've served and housed over 5,000 homeless veterans in the 22 years that I have been serving in this wonderful community of veterans, of homeless veterans. Let's make that clear. Not just any veteran, but homeless. You heard me right. And I'm a realtor. And I've been housing veterans under my real estate license. That's the real estate company my license has been with since 2011. I've been housing homeless veterans for 22 consecutive years as a realtor. And I've made a six-figure income doing that. You heard me right. Yes. Yeah, I'm that crazy realtor who says, I want all the homeless veterans to come my way. It's simple. It's real simple. And you might ask, how do you house a homeless veteran when they don't have any money? That's what my realtor colleagues were saying, and they still do. Yvette, how do you get paid housing a homeless veteran? Well, now, veterans don't come with empty hands, empty pockets, empty purses. No, sir, no, ma'am. They come with resources that is money that will pay the rent. Resources like HUD VASH, and we're going to talk about HUD VASH for a few minutes. Resources like SSVF, in which $818 million in grants went to 235 organizations across the country from the Department of Veteran Affairs. On August 27, 2025 is when this press release came out. And I have the list of all of those 235 organizations. Yes, I do. And why do I have that list? Because that's where the money is. So they're responsible for using this $818 million in 6 different ways. And the first way is housing and housing counseling. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? The government wants to house these veterans, but then there's a roadblock. You got the money. You get the money. And this is just SSVF. It has nothing to do with the Section 8 voucher. That's totally separate resource. So the roadblock is this. You see, the veterans have the resources. They have the moolah. They got the cash. They got the money that's going to come into the investor's bank account, because when you move a homeless veteran, you have to move him or her into a dwelling, and that dwelling has a PIN number. That PIN number is owned by somebody who's paying taxes on that property. That's an investor. That investor is looking for cash return on his or her investment. They're looking for cash flow. And when I'm telling you, $818 million needs to be used. And number one is housing and housing counseling. That's number one. Get these veterans into investors' properties. But here comes the roadblock. Here comes the roadblock, my fellow realtors. How do you house a homeless veteran, Yvette? When I just told you there's $818 million circulating around the communities of 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. This is money that an investor could use to pay the mortgage or to have cash flow and to have a profit. The roadblock is realtors don't know how to put those two together. A homeless veteran, and you got what? How do I use, what do you say you have? How do I use a Section 8 voucher? I've never done that before. And you say you have an agency that's paying your rent? What are you talking about? Yeah. Those are the realtors. That's why we still have homeless veterans, because we are responsible as realtors. We are responsible. That's what we signed up for. Our license says we move people. We exchange real estate. We exchange one person to the next in that property. We move people. But you don't know how to move a homeless veteran who has access to $818 million, who has access to Section 8 vouchers under HUD-VASH or Colbert or a bridge voucher or an FUP voucher, family unification voucher for those veterans who are being released from incarceration. Those are resources to move our homeless veterans into real estate. That's it. And that's the bottleneck, because realtors don't know how to do that. And if you do, then I'm not talking to you. Thank you very much. This is my book that came out and has been approved by the IDFPR as a class. And I'm going to teach this as a 6-hour class. The book is on Amazon, so go ahead and get the book and start reading so you can move these homeless veterans from homelessness into a realtor's blueprint, the veteran's path to home, navigating the journey from homelessness to homeownership. You heard me. I've moved over 5,000 homeless veterans. This book talks to you, realtor, to help them move from homeless to homeownership. This is what I've been using, my blueprint, to show veterans how to buy for the first time or buy again because they haven't bought in maybe 30 years. This is that book. That's me. I've got a whole series of my series is called U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources book series. For those who say that I want to house homeless veterans, well, get the guide, a guide to veteran shared living models. We need everything. We need all types of housing in our community. If you are a social worker, case manager, human care professional, this book is for you, so you don't have to have another homeless veteran walking out your door homeless again. Just stop the madness. I've been housing homeless veterans. I was the first. I was a homeless female veteran. This is my catalog, and it's all on Amazon under my name, Yvette Jones Swanson. How was my day today? Round up real quick. Charlottesville, VA, one of the management companies got back to me to let me know that sure, they have a 2-bedroom apartment available for our homeless 70-year-old female veteran who's sleeping in a tent and in her car and having to take baths in the creek down the road, her and her caregiver. There is some stipulations though, which because everybody has to do the same thing, otherwise these management companies and owners will be discriminating if they don't do the one thing for everybody. It's across the board. So now, in order for her to qualify, even with the 2-bedroom Section 8 voucher issued by HUD, because she's a veteran and she's homeless, she still has to present an application, do a credit check, and her credit has to be at least 675. And also her income has to be 3 times the amount of the rent. But really not, because it only should be 3 times the amount of her tenant portion. She's already disqualified. Already disqualified. Her credit score is in 675. She's been homeless. How do you maintain any credit being homeless? Then I have Indiana. Straight up discrimination because it's a voucher. Straight up discrimination because it is a voucher. I've already talked about Charlottesville, and I've got 3 in Chicago, a 5-bedroom for him and his family. 4 properties came up in the neighborhoods that we looked in. Qualifications already excluded this veteran, already out the door. Because every time he has to submit an application, he has to pay an application and credit check fee for everybody 18 and over. How many times can you do that before you just you can't do it anymore, because now your credit score is in the bottom. It's 450 now. Literally, it's 450 credit score. So how can he? And then we could have gone for a purchase because he's 100% service connected. He can buy a house, but his credit score now is too low. He can't find any place to live because you got all of these stipulations. You want to know the solution? What I've been doing? I've been writing congressional letters. Hold on, let me get my notebook, because we need reform and we need amendments written for realtors, for the National Association of Realtors. We need reform for veteran status. If you have veteran status, you have a HUD-VASH voucher, and you have all of this $818 million in rental subsidy, you have veteran status, and you have the resources to pay your rent. We need an amendment. So I'm writing. I'm gathering cases, and I'm writing. Everybody who has been affected by this in your city, your state, your senator is getting word of that. Senator Tammy Duckworth has a letter coming to her. Senator Laura Ellman in Aurora has a letter coming to her. Senator Richard Durbin in Chicago has a letter coming to him. And the list goes on and on. That's just in the Illinois area. Then we have Washington, D.C. The Honorable in Congress, John J. McGuire. His office actually is in contact with us. This is for the senior veteran who's 70 years old, who is homeless in her tent. And everybody wants a credit check. Everybody wants a background check. Everybody wants blood work. Everybody wants too much And that's why our veterans are still homeless. That's one reason. New Orleans, Congressman Troy Carter. I'm writing these letters to these politicians because clearly they don't know what the boots on the ground is doing. They don't know the real deal Holyfield, what's really going on, and why we have so many homeless veterans. It's enough money to go around. When you have $818 million and an organization called Nation's Finest in Arizona, California, Nevada, that's their catchment area, they received $22,942,240. But then you have to ask yourself, they're serving 3 states. So that means they've got CEOs and they've got executive directors and junior executive directors and all of these execs. Add their salaries up. How much is going to our homeless veterans? And if they're not coming to those organizations to get the funding, where's the money going? Because we clearly still have homeless veterans. I want to thank y'all for watching. If you have not started to follow me, please click follow and share, and also educate yourself. I've been doing this for 22 years, and now my intellectual property, the knowledge that I've gained working in this homeless veterans community for the past 22 years are located in my book series. And I've got more books coming out because there are solutions to this madness, and this is it. This is it. We have to stop putting roadblocks in front of our veterans in terms of credit. You got a damn voucher. Let them use the money. Get on their feet. That's all. You know, I was a homeless veteran and it was horrific. But look at me now. Bye. I forgot to show y'all. I forgot to show you. This was my badge that the federal government gave me. Hold on, because I was vetted. I am vetted, VetMentors, and my name, Yvette Jones Swanson. This is my badge from the federal government. This is my badge from the federal government. It expired June 20, 2025, as a volunteer. What I'm telling you here, I've been in the VA, in the vet centers, in the city colleges, in the prisons, in the city jails, in the townships, educating our veteran community. And I'm about to start doing it again. I just hit up one commander. I'm going to hit up the rest of the commanders at the VFW posts and the village halls. Y'all going to see me, and you're going to come and learn this. Bye for now. Time is up.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guidebook series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.